Testing.
We're a design advertising agency. Design and advertising agency. So we launch brands. So we work with everything from startups to 3 of us. What do you guys do? Very good. Who within this group? We're going to need a couple of chairs for the judges because they're not going to sit here the whole time.
Hello?
Not
Test.
moving back or over.
Testing.
I apologize for that.
Hello.
Hey, Carlotta, you get the lighting optimizing for the screen.
I don't think that's that hard.
Hey, thank you all. Audio. Do we have audio? Is it on? Hey, thank you all for being prompt and having a seat. Wise move, everyone. A lot of the people out there are having a great time, and they're going to be standing for a while. So thank you all. We're going to get started in just 1 minute.
Good evening, everybody. We're going to get started real quick here, so come on in and grab a seat. Welcome. Hey, if we're a couple minutes behind, does it really matter?
We're pretty timed for the simulcast.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Come on in and grab a seat.
Hello and welcome to Naturally Boulder's 13th annual Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards celebration. I said hello and welcome to Naturally Boulder's 13th annual Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards. Right on. So you know this event is a lot bigger than this room. For the first time ever in Naturally Boulder's history, we are simulcasting into the tent outside and also live streaming all over the world. Who got to hear the trumpet player? Master Blaster G. I first saw him on Pearl Street, later found him on The Ellen Show. He then showed me pictures of him on stage in front of 50,000 people, including Tony Robbins. Hey, if the person's talking next to you, give them a friendly nudge. I'm looking at you right there. Friendly nudge. Thank you, guys. Hey, I'm going to invite Carlotta Mass to the stage. Carlotta Mass is the Senior Vice President of Content and Insights for Informa's Global Health and Nutrition Network, which includes Boulder's very own New Hope Network. Hey, you guys. All right, I'm serious about the nudges. Perry, nudge somebody. Reach out and nudge somebody. That's our tagline. Carlotta is a frequent speaker at industry events and conferences and has been interviewed about natural products industry trends and market performance by the New York Times, NPR, ABC News, Business Week, and numerous other media outlets. In 2013, Carlotta co-founded a paleo snack called Holy Bites, which hit the market well before Whole Foods even picked up on the whole paleo trend. She sold that product. Sold that company successfully in 2016. Class. In addition to serving as Naturally Boulder's board president, which you are a wonderful board president, Carlotta. Carlotta also sits on the board of the Climate Collaborative, whose mission is to leverage the power of the natural products industry to reverse climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can hear me, please welcome Carlotta Mast.
Thank you, Aaron. And my gosh, I come up here and you're quiet. That makes me feel really special and powerful. So thank you. That makes my evening. And today is our Naturally Boulder Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards event. We work all year to prepare for this event with a mostly volunteer-run organization. And I need the clicker for the slides. That was one thing we forgot. But this is our 13th annual Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards. And it's Friday, October 13th. I mean, how lucky could we be? Thank you so much. Yeah. So how many of you, and I was just talking to someone, how many of you have been to all 13 of our Naturally Boulder Pitch Slams? So a handful, which is so impressive. And how many of you here, it's your first Naturally Boulder Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards? Oh my gosh. Now that is what is so amazing about this community, that it continues to grow. We're nearly 1,200 members now with Naturally Boulder, which is unbelievable. So thank you for being here. We're so excited for what we have in store tonight. We have a lot of firsts for our Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards. It's the first year we've done a 2-day event. So how many of you were here yesterday for the semifinals? So a lot. It was an amazing day, and so excited to see who made our finals for tonight. We're also live streaming the Pitch Slam for the first time. So if you are at home watching somewhere else, we welcome you. We're so glad that you are part of our community, even if you're not in the room. I know that I have a couple of special boys who are watching from home, so hello. Hope you guys are being good. And we're excited about that. We are also simulcasting tonight in the tent. So if you find you're getting thirsty or you're looking for some more food, feel free to go out to the tent, and you will be able to still kind of keep up with the program, but from outside the room. And I wanted to take a moment before we get started to just have a reflection on gratitude. With all of the disruption and destruction that's happening in our world, from the hurricanes to the earthquakes to the mass shootings to now these devastating fires in California, it's I think a time to really reflect on how much we have to be grateful for is an appropriate way to start tonight, because we have so much to be grateful for. I have gratitude for the abundance of our community, the joy, the vibrancy, the innovation that our community brings forward, the way we work as a force for good to be a change agent in this world. And we're building such successful businesses, but we're doing it with a higher purpose and meaning in mind. Gratitude for all of you who are here. I mean, it's really the people of this community who make Naturally Boulder and the natural products industry what it is. And so grateful for you being here tonight. And so grateful for all of our 20 pitching companies. So whether they made the finals tonight or not, the fact that they had the courage and the willingness to stand up on this stage yesterday and share their passion, share their inspiration, share their stories, it's so much to be grateful for. You know, this is another first is we have an actual Pitch Slam sponsor this year, and it happens to be my company, New Hope Network, which is a little weird, but not really. It's actually, I'd be disappointed if my company wasn't standing up and really supporting Naturally Boulder the way it is, because I think our missions are so aligned. But you know, on behalf of Naturally Boulder, I would like to thank the New Hope Network for stepping up and being our inaugural Pitch Slam and Autumn Awards sponsor. I would in particular would like to thank my boss and my colleagues, my boss Scott Owen and my colleagues Adam Anderson and Scott Sherpy, who have really supported me in stepping up for Naturally Boulder and doing so much more. We have a team here live streaming tonight, so really so grateful Naturally Boulder is for the support of New Hope. And then on behalf of New Hope, we couldn't be more honored to support this organization and support this event. So it's really a nice partnership, and I'm excited to see that continue and grow. We also, I want to thank all of we had 40 plus innovation companies yesterday who were in our innovation showcase. It was the first year that we did the showcase last year. We had a little mini expo right here, and it was amazing energy, so fun to get to interact with the companies, big and small in our community that make Naturally Boulder what it is. So, you know, it was a very successful event, and I think it's going to be something we're going to continue for years to come. I also wanted to, thank some individuals now. Naturally Boulder, all of the work of Naturally Boulder, this event, but everything we do from our education sessions to our morning mingles to the CEO and Founders Forum, it would not be possible without the work of a lot of, volunteers and individuals. I'm starting with the executive team. I am so honored to be able to work on this team with Alex Hannafin from Alpine Start Foods, Adrian Pilcher from Natural Habitats, Catherine Walsh from Holland and Hart, and Jason Veith, who is now with Lifetime Fitness, had been with White Wave Foods. Serving on the board with the exec team, we've got Christopher from Keen One, our newest board member, Ben Fenton from BFG Partners, Kyle Garner from Organic India, Susan Graff from New Resource Bank, John Grube from Sterling Rice Group, Cliff Harold from the Boulder Economic Council, Alex Rumman, who is with Modern Alchemy, Jen Swift from 34 Degrees, Steve Wangler, who is now with the Good Crisp Company, and David Winter, who is with Spins. And I really wanted to provide a very special thank you to 3 of our board members who, for different reasons, are leaving the board after this year. And without their work, these individuals, Jason Veith, who has been our board treasurer, and Alex Rumman, who has been the half of the team of the networking night team and our spring fling, and Cliff Harold, who has been on the board serving from the Boulder Economic Council. they are all departing, and just a big thank you to them. So let's give them a round of applause. We will have, so with 3 departing board members, we have 3 openings for next year. And so this is an amazing board community. So if you have any interest in applying for one of those spots, keep your eye open for for news in the Naturally Boulder newsletter and emails about the process for that. But you know, it's a hardworking board, but a really kind of, for me, it's been a once-in-a-lifetime experience to be on this board. I also want to thank some more individuals. You know, the people who helped start Naturally Boulder, this organization would not be what it is today without them. Joan Boykin, Mark Retzloff, and Sylvia Taz. We are so grateful for your continued leadership. And of course, all of our many volunteers. This, again, is a volunteer-run organization. And then we have our 2 staff members. We've doubled our staff this year, which is amazing. Peter Moore joined us. He's our operations and administration manager. He is a fantastic addition to the NB team. And then, of course, Aaron Mansica. He's been the long-time heart and soul of this organization, and we wouldn't be able to do any of the things we do for this community without Aaron. So be sure that you give him a hug tonight, because he is, you know, he is the engine of Naturally Boulder. And with that, I wanted to bring Aaron back to the stage because we wanted to take a moment and share with you our mission and guiding principles. We are so proud of the work that went into formulating our mission and guiding principles last year. And we really try to live by these as a board. And we're proud to share them with you. And I hope that these words really resonate with you and mean something, because they're much more than words to us. It really, this is our code by which we live as an organization. And with that, Aaron, do you want to read our mission?
I do, but that's too far away. Okay. Hi. Our mission is to nurture conscious growth, leadership, and innovation in the Colorado natural products community.
And these are our guiding principles. Naturally Boulder defines natural products and practices as those made with the goal of promoting human, animal, and environmental health. This is why we encourage organic, biodynamic, and other restorative practices.
We believe that regenerative businesses measure success not only by financial gain, but also by long-term conscious business practices that positively impact human health, communities, and the planet.
We value connection and provide a platform for education, dialogue, and generous sharing to help the Colorado natural products community grow with integrity and higher purpose.
We embrace the entrepreneurial spirit and honor the excellence in business that will accelerate the growth of the Colorado natural products community.
And we know that healthy, dynamic communities drive healthy, dynamic businesses. As natural products industry members, we pledge to actively nurture a culture of shared ideas, collaboration, and mentorship within the Naturally Boulder community. And if any of this resonated with you, let's hear from you. And in the spirit of shared ideas and generous sharing, we are so excited to have our keynote speaker for tonight. It's a longtime industry leader who is very much known for how he shares his vision and ideas, and has a truly generous spirit of helping others in the industry, newcomers as well as pioneers, take this industry forward and help us become something much more. And we're so excited to have John here. John Foraker, he's the co-founder and CEO of Once Upon a Farm, his newest venture. He's the former CEO of Annie's, that might be how you know him. And in the work that he did to grow Annie's, all the way to acquisition by General Mills, and then the leadership that he provided within General Mills to, again, help be a force of greater good within a very large company. He is certainly well deserving of our applause as he comes to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think I'm going over here. And after that introduction, the odds of me falling flat on my face and disappointing everybody are really high. So I got to up my game. I am going to talk as soon as I get the clicker. Sorry, about the power of purpose, and share some stories. Talk to you a little bit about my experience and what I've done. I spent 18 years at Annie's, and I just did the wild, crazy-ass thing and jumped back in the pool, and I'll tell you about that. So I'm very excited. So let me see a show of hands. First of all, how many are entrepreneurs? Consider some entrepreneurs in the room. Man, this is great. Me getting to talk to my peeps is so great. I should tell you about the time in Chicago when I went to talk to a farming conference and realized that halfway up there after I was put all these wild-ass ideas up about Berkeley and everything we believe in, and realized that 90% of the people in the room work for biotech. It was bad. Should have done my research on the audience ahead. Anyway, how many of those entrepreneurs are trying to build purpose into your business to make the world a better place? All right. And if you're not, get on it. This isn't a Goldman Sachs synthetic derivatives conference. Let's go. Okay. All right. So first, let's get rolling here. Purpose. You got need a definition. Pretty basic, but it's an intention or aim, a reason for doing something or allowing something to happen. So in your business, the way I think about it, your purpose is like your North Star. It's how are you going to drive the power of business to make a positive impact in the world. And to me, it doesn't matter, and this is a point I'll come back to later. Oftentimes I talk to entrepreneurs and they're like, wow, I have this great purpose, but man, we're so small. The impact we're making today is so small. I feel bad about that. Don't feel bad about it. The whole point is set the stage so that as your business scales and turns into something huge, you'll have massive impact that you're delivering. And that's what we did at Annie's, and I'm proud to talk about that a little bit today. So there's another reason to do it. It matters to your business and to your consumers. So this is some Nielsen information about how millennials think of purpose-driven businesses. 75% of millennials are willing to pay more for sustainable offerings. That's 25% increase in 2 years, which was, I think, 2014, 2016. 66, two-thirds are willing to actually pay more to support companies that are positive on the environment. So it's not just about doing great stuff. It's great business. It's connecting your brand to your consumers in a really powerful, emotional, and personal way. That's a massive brand building opportunity. So it's not about writing checks and being just a P&L line item or anything like that. It's a real marketing opportunity as well for you to connect with your consumers. So a little bit on the background here. So millennials are going to drive a big organic wave. They already are. But what I'm going to tell you is it's going to get a lot bigger. Organic's nearly $50 billion right now, about 5% of U.S. food. You heard it here first, 10% within 10 years. And I'm out there, but 10% within 10 years. And I think in my lifetime, if you look at I've been doing consumer research at Annie's for 20 years, almost. If you talk to the generation that's coming, I'm telling you, it could easily be 20%. Lots of things have to happen for that to happen. But anyway, it's a great spot to be. 80% of U.S. households are buying organic now. Here's a big one. 25% of millennials are parents today. That's big. Annie's grew into a $400 million business on those parents, okay? Here's the big one. 10 years from now, 80% of millennials are going to be parents. Why is that important? Because if you look at the research, consumers oftentimes get into heavy organic buying as soon as they have a kid. Organic dairy comes in the house, produce comes in the house, snacks come in the house, all these things, and it's a gateway. So the next 10 years are going to be insanely awesome for this community here and for organic everywhere, and we should be stoked on it. We should be ready, okay? So get ready. I'm sure there'll be somebody on Twitter that's saying I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about later. I boycotted Twitter today, just so you know. Okay, Annie's purpose-driven DNA. How did we do it? It was the genius of Annie right there and her husband at the time, Andrew. They started the company in 1989. They baked this incredible DNA, this socially responsible DNA. They never really wrote a lot of it down other than on the package, which was really interesting. And the company got its start up in the Boston market, and I got involved about 10 years later. It was a $6 million business. It was being sold in about 30 Whole Foods stores, places like Fresh Fields, and then it was also being sold in Boston, grocery stores direct, and in Northern California and San Francisco. I thought it was this huge brand, tiny little business. And so $6 million in net revenues. Here's another tip for entrepreneurs. Stop talking about gross revenues. Man, it's net revenues are the only thing that matter. When you talk gross revenues, you're giving a signal you don't understand what GAAP accounting and a P&L is. So do me a favor on that one. That's okay. It took me 10 years to figure that out too, so that's all right if you're not doing it yet. So the story of Annie's is really about how we took that initial DNA and we deepened it, amplified it, and turned it into tangible impact. And by the way, we made pretty good mac and cheese too, so it was about that also. So we developed a purpose statement. And believe it or not, for the first roughly 15 years, the company didn't have a written purpose, which is insane. Now it sounds insane that we didn't. And there's a reason for that. We did it when we were about 40 million in size. And my longtime VP of marketing is Sarah Bird from Bhakti Chai. You guys know Sarah? She's a beast, and for like 2 years, she was like, John, you're an idiot. We need a mission statement. We don't know what we're doing. We're going to go off the road. I'm all, Sarah, I worked for a big bank. We had mission statements all over the place. No one gave a shit. No one read them, and we did the exact opposite. So I'm like cynical. If we put it up there, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're not doing that. But she was right. I acquiesced. We wrote it down, and our business completely took off. We broke 100 million by 2010, and I always wonder, if we'd done it earlier, 10 years earlier, what would have been different? That's when I get into my second guessing mode, which I do a lot. So after we did that, we really started building depth. We drove impact in our supply chain and our sustainability practices. And our mission informed us that we wanted to take bold action and bring it to life. And so where we were thin in this business, we really built depth. One of the things I remember doing is, after we put this mission statement in place, we looked at our business and we said, man, we don't have enough organic. We need to go a lot harder to organic. So one year we converted all the wheat we buy to organic, and it took our $1 million bottom line from the prior year to zero, which was a really fun conversation with my board. Share that some other time. But they got through it, and they supported me. And we did it not only because we thought consumers were interested in it, obviously, but because we had a mission that told us we should, because we would drive more positive impact, social and environmental impact, food justice, and all those things that come with it. So our mission encouraged us to integrate these things into everything that we did. So we also did a lot of stuff locally over the years. Here's a local one, one that very recently you might have heard about. So local action is very important too. I encourage you to look for opportunities in your local community to do things. How many know who Ron Finley, the Gangster Gardener, is? All right. Dude, Ron is the man in so many ways, and he basically got famous because he's in South Central LA. It was against the law to plant your own garden in the parkway. You could dump a sofa on it or a shitty old refrigerator, but you couldn't grow tomatoes. I mean, so he did, and the city came after him and tried to put him in jail. There was a warrant for his arrest. It was insane. So he changed the law. He became famous for that in food justice circles. And then last year, we heard that he was in trouble. The place, the garden in South Central had been, the mortgage had been owned by somebody else. It changed hands, and then this total shark tried to foreclose on it using all kinds of shady things. And we heard he was in trouble, and we saw him at Expo West. We saw him walking around with 25 young kids from South Central, and everybody taking pictures with him and high-fiving him and saying how great he is, and then no one doing shit. And our company got really pissed off. And I'm still pissed off about it, if you can't tell. So we got together with some people who cared. Justin Perkins from Care 2, he's out here somewhere. He helped us. Care 2 helped us put a petition out. I got on the phone and strong-armed everybody I could. There were some other great leaders in the industry that helped out. We raised $550,000 in 10 days. We bought the property. I worked to negotiate that deal. We bought the property from the scumbag 2 days before the sheriff was showing up to clip the lock, to lock it and throw Ron out. So that is industry acting locally. So do that. And the cool part about that is Ron is now free to be a beacon of light for food justice issues and food education across the globe, and it's amazing what's happening. So stay tuned with him. There's a lot more coming with him. Purpose also inspired incredible consumer love. our consumers saw what we were doing in social and our packaging, and they loved us for it, and Mom loved us for it. And we get, at Annie's, even right before I left, we were getting a couple hundred letters like this a month. Just insanely awesome, and showing that Mom really appreciated what we were doing, and Dad. I always leave dads out, but Mom and Dad. Sorry, I'm a dad too. So anyway, another great reason for being mission-driven and purpose-led. And then here's a great one you guys will all resonate with. How about, whoops, sorry, backward. How do I go backward? All right. Wildly empowered employees. Our employees at Annie's were amazing. It's not about me. It's not about the brand. The reason we were successful over all these years is our awesome employees. And our culture attracted amazing employees, the best and the brightest who wanted to make a difference in the world. Who wants to go to work just for a freaking paycheck? Nobody. And how many of you guys know that the best companies to work for are purpose-led companies because they're taking care of their people, right? So it's another big reason to do it. And then also, here's a really important one to me. Purpose-driven cultures are more fun. And I offer no quantitative proof whatsoever other than an April 20 pot joke, marketing, cute bunnies, and happy employees. But you know it's the case. You get texts, you look at social, you see your friends working at purpose-driven companies, you're, oh man, that is the place to be. I want to work there. So it's another really important thing. Life is way too short to not have fun, okay? Business should be fun also. And purpose-driven business can be successful too. So Annie's went public in March 2012. Our revenues were about 150 million at that time. So some stats on that. We were oversubscribed, meaning there was demand in excess of the shares we offered, about 35 to 1. We converted every single one of our roadshow meetings into an offer, 100%, which is really awesome. Stock opened at 19, closed at 31. That's all cool stuff, but for me, the most important thing is that it showed that organic was truly a mainstream phenomenon, beginning to be mainstream. And I think it opened the door for a lot more capital flow to this space, and the blue chip funds that invested in Annie's weren't investing in organic food companies 10 years earlier. So it was a real sign the world is changing. So I was very proud of that. So in 2014, General Mills acquired the business, and I got 28,000 on the Facebook page. We had 28,000 individual comments. 99% of them were negative. Probably 99.9998, just to be accurate. But when you read them, and I read them all, and my team read them all, and I responded to thousands of them personally, what you find is that it was all coming from a place of love. Like when somebody you love potentially is going to change, you're angry. It was not really about being mad at General Mills. It was more about being mad at Annie's because you might change and this thing that I cherish would change. But we haven't. And what we've actually shown is that small can influence big in a very profound way. So the business has been very successful. It's doubled. It went from 200 million to 400 million over the last 3 years. We've doubled the amount of certified organic products to almost 70%. So think of the incredible impact on the supply chain, trying to find enough organic ingredients to do that, and the business continues to roll. And our impact programs are scaling too, so it's been a real big win. So here's one I'm going to give you a tip if you're not into this or knowing about it already. The next big thing, I think, is regenerative agriculture. Who knows about regenerative agriculture? Raise your hand. Wow, you got to come to Boulder to find that, man. I'm telling you, even in Berkeley, if I raise my hand, like 15% of the people get it. Okay, you guys are way out there. You're making us look bad in Northern California. But regenerative agriculture is basically about farming in a better and different way, consistent with organic, but with practices that can also leverage and scale to more conventional farming. So you can open up the door from 1% of acres to 99% of acres globally. And we think there's tremendous opportunity there. So General Mills, for example, over the last 3 years has been in the process of converting 250,000 acres from conventional to organic. And now recently, and soon you'll be hearing about some projects that we're working on and that we started with Annie's Demand as the engine pulling it to convert some enormous farms that are in degraded soil with terrible carbon footprints and really building them out and showing that at scale, a big company can make a difference against global climate change. So anyway, it's an amazing thing. If you're around on November 6th and 7th, there's a Regenerative Earth Summit in Boulder. I'm going to be speaking at that. There's an incredible cast of characters. Basically, all the people that I think are the most important leaders in this movement are going to be there. So send somebody from your company and learn about that. But anyway, it's the power of the big. influenced by the power of the small. All companies like you are making a big difference. You're influencing the big companies to do better in the world, which is amazing. So your impact's way bigger than you think. So once upon a farm, my crazy ass swan dive back into the pond. Let me tell you a little bit about it. We are a true startup. Like, I think Annie's, our annual revenue is about what Annie's was like on a Thursday afternoon in the summer when everyone was on vacation for a half an hour. The company's called Once Upon a Farm, so you guys are all way bigger companies than me right now. I'm chasing you. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So here's the 4 co-founders. It's a fun group. The first picture that you never thought you'd see before, at least I didn't. Ari and Cassandra are on the right. They're 2 co-founders who got together in 2015 to reinvent baby food. I was interested in the opportunity, and I quickly got to know them and then became their first really big outside investor, and before they really put any product in the market. And then Jen, about 30 days ago, Jen Garner and I came in together as co-founders. I came in as CEO, and Jen came in as Chief Brand Officer. And Jen had been looking to do something in food for about 6.5 years. Really interested. She wanted to do something that tied in with the values that are important to her. She has 3 kids. She grew up was born in West Virginia. Understands the impact of poverty and really crappy diets on populations. Last 10 years, she's been working for Save the Children as their basic U.S. ambassador, and has been in communities and schools and just seen the impact of poor diets. And so when the opportunity came together to do something with Once Upon a Farm, and I saw her and we bonded on values and mission and impact and everything, which was incredible, we decided to do it. So we're all joining hands, and I'm right back where I am 20 years ago, and hopefully I don't fail. Thank you. So I learned one lesson the first time. It took me 15 years to have a mission statement for the last business. Now, this was day 1, baby. It was like, awesome mission statement. It's about kids, better health, nutrition, and happiness. And we've got a really cool set of core values behind this that are unique to the business that are going to be our guardrails, so hopefully we'll do the right thing as we grow fast. And we're in, right now, our core products today are HPP cold-pressed baby food sold in pouches. We formulate simply, and because we don't have to use heat, and in the process we preserve flavor, color, nutrition that you get like homemade baby food, and that you can't get from the conventional competition. Baby is a $1.7 billion category. It's flat to down. There's been very little innovations for 10 years. All the big brands are owned by big conventional food companies. And we think this is a really crazy thing. In all my years, I've never seen a place where consumers are so far ahead of where retailers and manufacturers are. And so we're going to solve that problem for them and create a new subcategory, hopefully. Knocking on wood, right there. The brand is going to be about 4 things. Helping mom deliver on mom and dad's promise to do the best for their children as they look at their cute little eyes on their first day, when they kind of look like a squirrel, but then they later look a little bit, then they look a little bit cuter later. I can say that my own kids look like that. It's okay, I can say that. But they look at them and they say, I'm going to do everything I can for you, give you the best education, the best future, the best opportunity. And life is difficult and it causes compromises. And so we're going to try to help solve that in food at least. So it's about great tasting products, platform of products, starting in baby, but we'll go all the way up to age 12. Most of what we'll do will probably be age 5, 7 or younger. Optimized nutrition, healthy fats, great taste, purity and industry-leading safety. And finally, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to develop these really cool purpose platforms. One will be around organic. Another will be around educating kids everywhere, including in the poorest areas, about healthy food. And then we have a really strong mission around creating better access for food for kids. And the details on all that stuff will be coming out in the next few months, but I'm really excited to share it when we do. So that is it on my business. Please wish us luck. That's the second picture that you didn't expect to see. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought, a simple one. This is a quote from an anti-Vietnam War activist and poet, Grace Pally. And to me, it says it all as a purpose-driven food entrepreneurs. Let us go forth with fear, because if you don't have fear, you're not being realistic, and courage and rage to save the world. Each of you has the potential to make vastly bigger impact than you ever imagined. Just set up your businesses early to do that. And I'm going to be cheering you on all along the way, and the Boulder community is going to be supporting you. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, that was amazing. That was exactly the kind of energizing message we wanted to take us into our pitch slam. So without further ado, I would like to bring up to the stage our wonderful pitch slam co-chairs, Steve Wangler and Alex Hannafin. They're kind of the co-founders, but they're definitely the co-chairs, and let's get it started.
Excuse me. Thank you, Carlotta. John, what an inspirational speech. Thank you so much for being here and recognizing our community. We're proud to have you, and we're proud to be maybe a little bit more in touch with what's going on than maybe some other groups that you've spoken to. So thank you very much. Good evening, Naturally Boulder. Oh, I wait all year for this. That's awesome. Well, I got to tell you, first off, my partner Alex and I have had a great start. But let me introduce Alex first off. You guys all know Alex Hannafin. She's been in the industry way longer than me. I don't know how the math works on that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But Alex has been on many brands here in town and had a great impact in our community, not only from the work that she does, but for her caring and reach out to people who are curious about how to do things here. She's always available to support people in the community, including myself. And she's currently in a great role as the co-founder of a great brand of instant coffee, great instant coffee, Alpine Start. Please give it up for Alex Hannafin.
Thank you. Steve is always too kind. So now it's my turn. I get to introduce Steve, who also is an amazing industry leader. He started out on the conventional side and made his way over to the natural side for about the last 10 years. And not only is he just incredibly smart and knowledgeable about the industry, but he's a great mentor to so many brands in this industry and is always willing to get coffee with any of you. So, and Steve is also my partner in crime with this event, so I am so excited to be here. This is maybe one of my favorite days of the entire year, just seeing everybody, all my favorite people in the same room and the pitch slam itself. So, I say let's just keep going.
All right, well, let's bring up our judge panel. We've got 4 judges tonight, and I'm going to introduce a couple, and Alex is going to introduce a few. So first off, my friend Russ Forrester, who is the Senior Vice President of Data and Insights for the Haines Celestial Corporation. Please take your seat.
And we also have Deborah, who is the VP of Communications over at Danone Wave.
And this is my easiest introduction, Justin. No, seriously, it's been great to have Justin on the panel. You all know him. He's a very successful entrepreneur in this town and still is very giving to everyone in the community. So we're proud to have him on our panel tonight.
And last, but definitely not least, we have Koel, who is also an industry veteran with Noosa Yogurt.
Very proud of this this panel of judges. They got together pretty quickly and have a great vibe. I think a lot of people were here yesterday when we went through the initial 20 pitches, and let me just touch on that for a minute. You know, every year we do this, we get somewhere between 40 and 50 applicants of brands that have proof of concept, are out at retail, making things happen, and almost all of them we hadn't heard from the year before. It's truly an amazing community that we have here in Boulder. I am always struck by the quality of the ideas, the level of the passion, and the commitment that people make to their missions and what they're doing out there. So yesterday, for 3 hours, we had 20 pitches from all really cool, interesting brands. Some of them you've heard of, some of them you're gonna hear of, and all of them, in my mind, were winners yesterday. They got up here nervous, excited, apprehensive, and did their pitches, and I wanna first off, ask everybody to give a shout out for all of the pitchers from yesterday. This is the future right here. these brands and people like them, the people that did it last year and the year before and that are out there making it happen. Let's never forget that about our community. I think that's the thing that makes it so vibrant. So we have 5 finalists tonight as well, so we've got more to talk about. But Alex, I think you've got something to talk about as well.
Yeah, so an amazing opportunity not only to get up in front of all these amazing people and pitch your brand, we have a prize package, which if you're in the startup world or have ever gone to Expo West, you know the importance of being there. And so we are so proud to offer a booth at Expo West for next year. Okay, let me go to my slide.
Oh, they did it.
Oh,
Oops.
Oh, ooh, there we go. Sorry, you guys are ahead of me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we have a booth at Expo West. We also have some cash, which is always useful. And then we also have an amazing selection of service providers in this industry that are also donating a lot of their time and their efforts to help support our brands. So it's about $65,000 worth at the end of the day of what these brands are pitching against to win. So pressure is on, you guys, for the top 5.
And I just want to give one more shout out to the sponsors. I mean, you know, we've got a community here where there's brands, and then there's everybody that supports those brands. And both of those are so critical to what we are all experiencing here. We couldn't do Naturally Boulder without the sponsors. We couldn't do Pitch Slam without the sponsors. So I'd like to ask everybody to give a shout out for our sponsors and the prize packages tonight. So thank you very much. And I think we got to get the show underway now, don't we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
All right. You guys ready? Where are you at? All right, Grace, you're first.
All right. Grace Ventura from Good Broth, Beyond Broth.
My daughter is serving.
Awesome. And just so you know, while they're getting ready, I'm in charge of the gong. That's with a G. Works every year. The other stuff's later. And they have 2 minutes to pitch, and then we have 3 minutes of questions from the judges. And the gong rules it all. Let me know when you're ready, dear.
Now, can we dim the light?
No, that's show business, baby.
All right.
Whenever you're ready. You take your time.
Okay. Thank you.
Whenever you think you're ready.
Okay. Good evening. It's 4 a.m. and I'm sick in bed. I have 6 kids and I want my own nourishing vegetable broth. In that moment, Beyond Broth was born. As a health coach and a personal chef, I've worked with people for over 30 years to improve their health. Hi, I'm Grace. Beyond Broth is an organic, vegan, instant wellness broth that is a nourishment on the go. So there's bouillon, cooking broths, sipping broths. Ours takes it a step further. Wellness broths. We are revolutionizing and evolutionizing the category. Designed for people who won't sacrifice nutrition and live in our fast-paced world. With a 2-year shelf life, the broths aren't reconstituted, so the nutrition and lifespan is much greater, plus tastes fresher because it is. Beyond Broth single-serve packets come in 3 varieties: Immune, Vitality, and Yummy Tummy. They include dehydrated vegetables and wellness herbs like reishi mushroom, nettles, turmeric. It aids in the production of collagen that's both mineralizing, alkalizing, and contains phytonutrients to support the immune system. Plus, the body may absorb collagen-enhancing nutrients from plants more easily than from bones. Beyond Broth is perfect for kids and college students, 9-to-5ers, campers, and anyone on the go, plus just 30 calories. As an alternative for coffee or tea, my favorite is to add coconut oil, nutritional yeast, and dulse flakes. Plus, it's a great add-on, or creating a 5-minute meal by adding veggies, protein, grain, and healthy fats. Additionally, in a world where natural disasters are increasing, I have a vision for Beyond Broth to be on every Red Cross truck. Our buyer at Natural Grocer said it's an easy alternative to something sugary. It's versatile, it's satisfying, full of vitamins and minerals, warming, and super easy way to get more vegetables in a diet. And it's not loaded with salt, and it's gluten-free. Let's face it, we are dying by our lifestyle choices. We all deserve to be well-nourished. Nothing fancy, wholesome food. I'm shaking. Grown on this earth, plant-based, sustainable, and simple. I'm asking for your support in creating vitality and health for all. Send Beyond Broth to the expo. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now the judges ask their critical questions.
Can't see you. All right.
Well, first of all, Grace, I think this is an awesome product, and I love how disruptive it is to the category. One thing that I learned with nut butter is, we had nothing we could protect. We didn't invent peanut butter. We didn't invent the pouch. We were the first to put them together, and we had to move fast.
Yep.
So I'm really curious on what your thoughts are in your team and how you can move fast and how you can get through sleepless nights of paranoia knowing that your secret is out.
I am totally protected. No. We are moving really fast, apparently. We've been doing this for just over a year. We're hitting all the co-ops and independents.
Tell me about your team. Who do you have supporting you?
Okay, so I have many mentors, but aside from the mentors, I have someone in sales who is really helping to expedite and accelerate getting it out there, because I can't do it by myself. I have actually my son, who is an incredible mind that is just working the numbers, doing everything in terms of our operations and inventory to make sure everything is just, the whole infrastructure is really solid. And that to me is helping a tremendous amount. The mentors are helping me so much in terms of the business planning, the financing, working with people who are experts in the field that are so supportive of this product because they get what it is. So it's been phenomenal. Naturally Boulder is phenomenal. What I've been offered and just brings me to tears because it's such a mission-driven company. It really. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, totally.
You're a total rock star, and I wish we had more products like this out there. If you could choose anyone in the world to be a brand ambassador, who would it be and why?
Well, the one I've thought of is Oprah, actually, because she's so far-reaching and touching the lives of so many people from the ground up. It's people who don't have food, people in disaster areas, and it just, she's so widespread that's who I think of. Yeah.
So when it's merchandised, it's in these cartons that are perforated, so people are just buying the single packets, correct?
Yes, or they are now selling them actually by the sleeve as well.
Okay, because if I'm just picking up your package, I mean, the product is delicious, and I listen to you and I get so much more sort of information around the product. But when I read the packaging, I don't get that. So how are you sort of, I guess, breaking through the clutter? How are you getting people to notice you and pick you up for the first time?
Demos. And we also just are creating a demo kit so that we're sending it to do passive demos with literature that describes what it is, what you do with it. I created a demo video that really talks about in 1 minute the things you could do with it. We're doing a lot of social media as well. So, but demos are, to me, the main way to really get it out there and educate people. And I've started to come out a little bit more about what my mission is, because it's been this way for over 30 years, how I've supported people in self-care. And that's what my passion is to create health and vitality for everyone, because everyone deserves it. So it's coming through in that information. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I see a lot of people around the back. You know, this is kind of like church on Sunday. There's plenty of room up here for you to sit down and get the blessing and the homily and the whole thing. So more to come on the Eucharist as well. Did I just say that?
All right. We've got one more.
We've got one more before
Well,
we move on to something else.
Yeah, so maybe just like a quick little housekeeping. We're going to be doing a couple pitches. So we're going to do one more pitch. So a total of 5 pitches, one more. And then we're going to switch over to do some, we have some amazing awards that we're giving out. And then we'll jump back and we'll do a couple more pitches. And what else are we doing? That's it?
Let's go.
All right. You guys ready? All right, next up, the Honest Stand.
The Honest Stand. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the judges get to taste everything. Yesterday with 20 brands, it was quite a bit, but it's all good, and I know they've been looking forward to eating this. Whenever you're ready, darling.
Thank you. Hey guys, I'm Alex, co-founder, president, and occasionally janitor at the Honest Stand, where we are taking plants and turning them into convenient comfort foods. Our management team is passing around some samples right now for our organic, dairy-free, vegan, cheese-style dips. This one's our mild nachos, my personal favorite. This product that you're about to try was really born out of necessity. In 2010, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, and at the time, I was in college, so that means I was eating Kraft macaroni and cheese pretty much at least once a day, if not 2 or 3 times a day. That meant I had a big problem, and my mom was there to help me, as moms often are. So together we came up with a totally gluten-free, dairy-free, cheddar-style sauce that was made from just cashews and veggies. And it seriously tasted almost as good as the real thing, if not better. When my partner at the time, now co-founder and soon-to-be husband, Jeremy, couldn't tell the difference between what we had created and the real deal, we knew we were onto something. So in 2014, Jeremy and I co-founded The Honest Stand. We launched at one farmer's market in Denver, and we grew to a few more farmers markets and a couple independent stores in 2015. In 2016, we moved into 55 locations across the Front Range of Colorado, including Whole Foods, Natural Grocers, Lucky's, and Alfalfa's markets. We finished out that year at $153,000 in revenue. This year, we've got 5 flavors of our cheese-style dips: cheddar, smoked cheddar, garlic parm, mild nacho, and spicy nacho, that are available in 250 locations across 4 regions of the country, and we're on track to finish this year at almost $800,000 in revenue. It is wild to stand back and look at what's happened for The Honest Stand. We went from a 2-person team to a 12-person team, from one farmer's market to having distribution to central and western United States through UNFI, Kihei, and Cisco. We went from a 1,500 square foot manufacturing facility to our new 11,000 square foot facility. And from the money that Jeremy and I saved to start this company to being close to finishing our first outside round of investment. This is really important because it means for the first time in the history of our company, we're actually ready to go to Expo West. We now have the team, the capital, the production facility, and the distribution to make the most of this prize package. And we're super excited to do it. Your support tonight means that our products will get in front of more retailers and distributors at Expo West, which ultimately means that it'll get into more hands of folks that want and need this product, helping us get closer to achieving our goal of making it easier and more enjoyable for folks all across the country to choose plant-based comfort foods. Thanks. I'm shaking too.
You're good. You're good. All right, judges.
I love your product. Great tasting product.
Thank you.
So my question is, where did you get your brand name? Because I mean, you could easily call it like not cheese, or it doesn't make you fart, or
Yes,
something.
absolutely.
That is
First F joke.
That was a close second.
That's why I'm not in marketing.
So, we started with the Honest Stand because the company started as a stand at the farmer's market, and we were trying to take an honest stand for a specific type of food, and that would be plant-based and organic. That was really important to us. And we're really, speaking to the presentation earlier, really committed to that purpose-driven company and sticking to those values and trying to communicate to folks that that's what we're about.
I have a question. So, very excited if you were to win and go to Expo. You're obviously opening yourself up to a national audience, and a lot of people ask me, like, what would you have done in hindsight, like when you launched your business? And we thought we were building heaps of capacity, and then we sort of hit these walls. So, going out to Expo West, do you feel like you have a good runway of capacity?
Absolutely. So I would say in hindsight, we experienced the same thing this year. We got asked this question a lot in late 2016, early 2017. Could you handle the capacity of bringing on more stores and moving into these 4 new regions of the company? And we always said, like, yeah, bring it on. We can do anything. That'll be easy. And we thought we could make 100,000, look at our management team, 100,000 units a month out of our 1,500 square foot facility. In hindsight, that was not true at all. So we have spent a lot of nights working there until 3 and 4 in the morning and getting that process sorted out. And now that we've got our new facility and we have a new plant, we've got an amazing VP of engineering on board that's helping us finish out the construction of that plant, and an awesome team, a crew of 6 full-time folks working specifically just in our plant. We now have the capacity to hit 300,000 units with just a 4-day shift. So we won't be there till 3 a.m. hopefully.
Yeah, so first of all, great presentation. You nailed it. You rehearsed it. It was awesome. So my question's around raw materials and supply. I know cashew is one of your major ingredients, and it's a subsistence crop, and it can be very challenging at times to source. And I'm kind of curious what you can do to diversify your product line to include other nuts or other things. And is that something you're working on, or does that keep you up at night?
That's a great question. I feel like you guys are hitting on all the big roadblocks we hit this year. We are not from this industry, and there's a lot of stuff we didn't know. So I had no idea that you could even contract with suppliers to get things until 4 or 5 months ago. So now we have very strong contracts with multiple cashew suppliers, especially organic cashews. That market does tend to swift a lot with the crops and the harvest. Specifically to your point, Justin, about bringing in other nuts, it's something that we're interested in, both from the vantage point of what you discussed and also from consumer requests and demands, folks that have allergies to different nuts, looking at maybe something outside of just the tree nut family, or being able to create a line that doesn't have nuts altogether. That's something my plant manager is not going to love because of the allergens that we'll have to control for if we do a non-cashew line, but definitely something we're thinking about.
And I love the product, but also love the love story behind the product. And I'm curious about the role of your fiance and what this is going to look like as the business scales. Because Coel and I are worried about your relationship.
Yeah, the first 2 years, particularly, were really tough. It's difficult to be romantic partners and to be business partners, especially for the two of us. I think you come home from a long day at work and you want to complain to your significant other about all the people you work with, and especially about your boss. And for us, we are the people we work with, and we are each other's bosses. So that didn't work as well. And it's been really great learning how to work with each other and together as a team. And for us, it's always coming back to this recognition that we have the same end goal, and that's to create a really badass company with a badass team.
All right, thank you very much. All right. We can include marriage counseling in the prize package. So we're going to bring Carlotta back up. Thank you very much.
Do you have the clicker? Oh, that one. Okay. Yes, there still are some seats over here. Do not be afraid to come sit over by me if you don't want to be standing all evening. So, we're going to shift gears a little bit. And I really think this is an important time to have your attention. So, because we're moving into a really important and special part of our program. So thank you so much for your attention, because our industry is all about people. It's the people who make our community special. And when our people have a great win or something to celebrate, we love to celebrate with them. And when we have a loss of someone in our community, we feel that loss deeply, and we have to take a moment to sit with that loss. And so I wanted to just take a moment tonight to recognize two people that we lost this summer, two incredible people who are part of our community. The first, I wanted to remember Jill Walters. She spent so many years working in the natural products industry, including 8 years as vice president of sales at White Wave Foods. And Jill and her husband, Mike, were tragically killed after a car accident this summer. And they are survived by their children, Nicole and Nicholas. And this loss was felt so deeply by our community. Jill was a beloved member of this Boulder community, and she was known for her passion for natural products and mentorship of newcomers to the industry. We really miss her deeply, and we send our condolences and our love to her family and friends. And Naturally Boulder is donating $1,000 to the scholarship that was set up at the University of Nebraska in her honor and her husband's honor. So wanted to take a moment to remember Jill and her beautiful smile. We also lost this summer Jackson Reamer, who was the son of Megan and Scott Reamer and the inspiration for the Jackson's Honest brand and product set. And Jackson lived with a rare neurodevelopmental disorder, and he passed away in August at the age of 16. The Jackson's Honest brand was created from his parents' efforts to treat the symptoms of his disorder through a quality, high-fat diet. Jackson was known for his infectious smile, and his happy spirit lives on with his family and in the work of the Jackson's Honest brand. We extend our love and our thoughts to Megan and Scott, their family, and the entire Jackson's Honest team. We've also donated $1,000 to the AGS Americas Association, the group that helps children and families living with Jackson's rare disorder. We know that other members of our community have suffered other great losses, and we send you our love and our compassion as well. On a happier note, I wanted to share an update on an initiative that Naturally Boulder launched earlier this year. We launched our Give Back program, through which we aim to support the work of organizations fighting hunger and other big challenges within Colorado and our greater food system. Metro Caring, which is Denver's frontline hunger prevention organization, was chosen as our first Give Back partner because of the amazing impact this organization has on ending hunger at its root. And each year, Metro Caring helps more than 45,000 shoppers with their food needs. They rescue and redistribute 2.3 million pounds of food that would have otherwise been wasted. And they've also created a really cool new training program that helps its clients find jobs in Colorado's food industry. So over the summer, Naturally Boulder, we ran 10 service projects with Metro Caring. Who here participated in one of our service projects? So good, a good number of you. We donated nearly, or we put forward nearly 300 hours during these 10 service projects, about 100 of us. And for me, this was truly a highlight of our summer. We did everything from, we sorted food, we composted expired baby food, we even packaged rescued toilet paper from DIA. And we did it with a smile on our face, and it was a great opportunity to get to know one another. We also collectively donated more than $20,000, which included $10,000 in matching funds from a very generous anonymous donor. As part of our donations, we also donated nearly 8,000 pounds of food. And I wanted to bring up to the stage Judith Ackerman, who has been our partner from Metro Caring. She's on the marketing and business development side at Metro Caring, and she's going to share a couple of her reflections of the partnership and what we've been able to do for what I truly think is just an outstanding organization in Denver.
Thank you, Carlotta. Thank you to all of you. We were so honored this year to have been selected as Naturally Boulder's Give Back Partner. The support, whether it was through volunteering at a service project, through your financial investments or product donations, it's really helped the impact in our community. I really am grateful for John's comments earlier, actually, which really spoke to how all of your brands are so purpose-driven and that you're willing to take the time and investment to help the community. It's really been so amazing. When Carlotta and I first spoke about the criteria that Naturally Boulder had for a Give Back partner, I was just amazed at how closely our mission aligned. Over the past few years, Metro Caring has taken steps to offer both nutritious food in our free fresh foods market and complimentary nutrition education, giving individuals the know-how and confidence to lead healthy lives when they leave Metro Caring and return home. But especially in the last year, we've made significant strides to reshape what hunger prevention looks like. We're constantly looking at and improving the areas where we can help create a healthier community. We're helping people like Ava, as an example, who needed to visit Metro Caring for food even though she and her husband were working 3 jobs combined. When her kids came home from school the first day and saw all the exciting fancy new food, the green juice and salad greens and granola bars, they were so excited. We're helping Ava manage her diabetes through cooking classes and helping her entire family prevent potential health issues by giving them food that's good for them. So it's on behalf of Ava and so many families like hers that we wanted to thank you for taking the time to shuck corn in our warehouse or restock our market shelves, for donating nutritious products and helping connect us to other brands with the potential to give. And last but not least, for raising critical funds to support our wraparound programs that unlocked another $10,000. So wow. We hope that this is just the beginning, and on behalf of our entire staff at Metro Caring, we hope to welcome you or welcome you back. So thank you.
And this absolutely is just the beginning of our work with Metro Caring. We're so excited about where this partnership will go, and the other wonderful nonprofit organizations who are aligned with our mission and who will be future partners with us. So stay tuned for more details on our Give Back program for 2018. And with that, I will bring Alex and Steve back to the stage.
All right, well, we are going to bring on our third pitch. And without further ado, Kusa Tea.
Hello, Naturally Boulder. My name is Jim Lamancusa, and I am the founder and CEO of Kusa Tea. This is the world's first premium organic instant tea. It's made with 0 sugar, 0 preservatives, 0 artificial flavorings. There are literally 1 or 2 ingredients on the label, organic tea and fruit. So this is a true category disruptive product. There's nothing like this in the market before. So I want to see a raise of hands. Who had tea today in any form? All right. Who's had tea in the past week? The entire room. So this is one of the fastest growing categories in the country. And one of the, feeding off of Annie's from before is that the millennial generation, 90% of them drink tea 3 to 5 times a week. So tea is one of the most explosive categories in the country, but no one has made it as convenient, delicious, and healthy as I have. So I came up with this idea when I was backpacking. I was sitting around the morning campfire, and all my buddies were drinking Starbucks instant coffee, and I had my tea bag, which is wet, heavy, you gotta pack it out, soggy, and I said, why has nobody made an instant tea that actually tastes like tea? So I went home and I did some research, and Lipton and Nestea both have instant teas, but the first ingredient is sugar, and then maltodextrin, and then artificial flavorings, and then the 4th or 5th one is tea. So I said, I know I can do this better. So it took me 9 months and a lot of money, but I have 21 patents on a new process to create instant tea that tastes just like fresh brewed tea. So the process, in a nutshell, is you take organic tea, you cold brew it under pressure for 8 hours. Then you move it from the cold brew into a vacuum dehydrator, which is a very gentle dehydration method. It slowly removes all the H2O out of the tea, and you're left with these beautiful tea crystals. We package them into this tea stick. You tear it open, you mix it with hot or cold water, and you have organic tea in 3 seconds. So I launched the company 4 months ago, so we're pretty new, but we're already in 50 retailers. We're launching into King Soopers at the end of this month, and REI has said yes for a spring 2018 launch. So a good start, but we have a long way to go. Thank you. So we have 5 flavors: organic English breakfast, organic green tea, organic oolong, mango green, lemon black, and then we have a variety pack. Now, this, again, is a true category disruptor. There's nothing like this on the shelves before. And I just want to say, again, thank you to the Naturally Boulder community. The #1 comment I get from people after they taste the tea and it says it tastes like real tea is that they say, I can't believe you've been around for only 4 months. And that's because of this community and the education of Naturally Boulder that I've been able to progress so quickly. And so I'm asking you to please help me accelerate my growth. Let me become the next big Boulder brand. Please send me to Expo West and let them see the next evolution of tea.
All right, thank you. Judges.
Great packaging. Looks beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm curious. So organic crops, organic teas. It's kind of hard to come by. It's kind of what % of your shipments that you get from your farm are rejected, and also, do you think you have enough supply to scale up?
It's a good question. As far as what's rejected and what's not, so with SGS testing, there's about a 5% rejection rate, which is pretty low. But for those that weren't here yesterday, that's our organic tea farm, so the mountains in the background of the picture. So it's a beautiful place. It's a really pristine environment. There aren't any major highways around it that would cause any of the contamination of tea. And then as far as scalability, I already have contracts with tea manufacturers, or tea producers and plantation owners and farmers. And one of the things I'm excited about is actually to give back to them. So speaking about purpose-driven, is that I really want to integrate that with my brand, is to help the farmers and the workers so that it can be a full cycle.
So that was actually my question, being inspired by John. What's your purpose?
So the first purpose was to make a healthy, convenient beverage. So again, you talk about the millennial generation. They want healthy and organic, but they want it fast. Everything's got to be immediate. So to take time to boil water and do the whole thing. So bagged teas are actually on the decline. RTD teas are on a dramatic increase, and that's because people want something convenient. So I think I've hit on the perfect in-between, that you can have organic tea in your pocket and organic tea in 3 seconds.
So tell me about your team.
Me. So it is. Literally, it's me right now. But I've had some amazing investors, amazing mentors. Steve Savage from Eco Products, Alan Murray from Good Belly have been incredible mentors for me through this entire process. Many of these faces in the room. So as we scale and grow, then I'll bring on the staff that's appropriate at the time.
Okay, so you go to Expo West, you get all this inbound interest. How are you going to manage it?
So we do have a master broker that we just brought on. And then I'm very comfortable with scaling fast-growing companies. So I was the second employee at Eco Products in their office supply division, and it grew from $1 million to $50 million in 5 years. So I know what that's like and what some of the triggers we need to, when we need to bring on more staff.
So you mentioned in person hey, you have the best tasting tea product, 21 patents, yep. But I don't get that feeling from the packaging, and so I'm really curious how you're going to win out, the competition and conventional consumers, because they're coming. Yep. How are you going to win people over to this great tasting product when it doesn't communicate that to me immediately? Is this through demos? Is this through marketing efforts?
Yeah. So as far as when we demo the product, 50% of the people that try it buy it. So it's an incredible amount of consumers. And part of what I am, I guess, riding on the coattails of Starbucks Via to prove that you can have something instant and have it taste good. So our packaging mimics their packaging. Same with the tea stick, the gable top box. So I am, I guess, riding on those coattails a bit. And then it's a ton of awareness. So one of the first things I did is I brought on a good PR company. And when you look at the press that we've gotten for only 4 months, it's incredible. So it's trial and then it's awareness.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we're going to bring Carlotta back up.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to keep it rolling. As we had mentioned, you guys don't have the clicker? It's on this side. I keep losing the clicker. Naturally Boulder, as with our volunteers, our sponsors are the lifeblood of this organization, and we wouldn't be able to do any of the things we do. And our sponsors aren't just a financial support for us. They really are active collaborators, partners with Naturally Boulder and the rest of the community. And they're also thought leaders in the community. They are helping to drive this community forward. So we wanted to do something different to recognize some of our big sponsors and most active sponsors this year. So we had a video team who went with Aaron Mansica and Peter Moore and our CU fellow, Lauren, to be able to just visit all of our sponsors, many of our sponsors in their offices, ask them some deep questions, and this is what we created.
Hi everyone, I'm Aaron Mansica, Managing Director for Naturally Boulder. You know, the work we do at Naturally Boulder, it takes on a few different dimensions. Of course, there's an educational component where we foster the generous sharing of business skills within this natural products industry. There's also the social aspect when we create fun and interesting events to connect and celebrate all of us in this community. But you know, Naturally Boulder, just like this industry has always been, we're about more than just business as usual. We, all of us, are agents of social change. And as this industry continues to evolve and mature, we decided to take our cameras to our top sponsors, those who are enabling our work, to really take them as thought leaders and ask them a couple of key questions. We invite you to consider these questions as well. How can we, as an industry, ensure the products we produce are widely available to diverse economic and geographic populations, rather than just being exclusive to those who can afford better products?
In order to reach a new consumer, we've got to expand our distribution footprint, and that means working back and partnering with small format distributors, urban-based distributors, and even partnering with e-commerce platforms as those grow.
We are incredibly excited about the opportunity that digital and delivery can offer to get food into the hands, fresh food into the hands of people that might not have access otherwise.
If we need more food products to more people, we need cheaper cost of goods. In order to get cheaper costs of goods, we need more people buying in.
When we think about how can we include people from different socioeconomic places or different food cultures, is to look to those folks to tell us what they need as products, what fits what they're going into the store and looking for.
We don't always need a purity test. It's not always a binary between perfect and awful.
So we work really hard with our farmers and with our customers and with our mills to ensure that we can put those products on the table for anybody who wants to be able to participate and buy those products.
By combining deep material science with flexible manufacturing assets, we can produce lower cost packaging that extends the freshness of foods, ensures product integrity, and prevents or minimizes food waste.
I think there's a large role for government policy. We have government nutrition programs. We should expand access through those nutrition programs to natural and organic and healthy foods.
Only 10 states currently allow WIC benefits to be applied to natural and organic foods. So as an industry, we really need to step up and support legislation to increase availability of organic foods on the WIC program.
With the recent surge of investments into the natural products industry and the increased interest from traditionally conventional CPG companies, where do you see us going in the next 1 to 2 years?
Considering all the investments that have been into the natural products industry recently from large CPG companies, I think it actually creates a greater opportunity for natural foods.
We just see opportunity growing for brands and for consumers.
This industry is going to continue to grow. As we all know, it has grown at about 20% a year for the last 10, 15 years.
We expect natural and organic products to grow at least 3 to 4 times the rate of conventional alternatives.
Having the conventional food companies as an ultimate buyer of these companies is going to encourage more private equity rather than less private equity.
When you look at investment and big CPG companies, they're really looking to the natural food community as the leadership of what's next.
I think over the next 1 to 2 years, you're going to see a continuation of the recent past with small startup companies innovating and doing a lot of the R&D that large companies such as Unilever have been unsuccessful at doing.
The large CPG companies, they don't know how to innovate. They don't know how to do what you guys do, and you need to remember that, actually. That's what's really valuable.
They're looking for a unique, viable proposition that they can scale, and they've got a lot of money to do it.
We've got powerful people and powerful products, making sure that we're going to change big food.
This is the time where we are going to define ourselves. This is not a challenge. This is the opportunity for us to set the path for how we are going to ensure that we are bringing our food to as many people as possible.
For our sponsors, we really appreciate everything you do for us. And now we're going to move on to our first award. Is Catherine Walsh here? There she is. This is a really special time for the program, and I'd like to bring up Catherine Walsh, who is on the Naturally Boulder board, and she is going to announce the winner of Naturally Boulder's Breakout Company of 2017 award.
Thank you, Carlotta. Good evening, everyone. Every year, Naturally Boulder presents a Breakout Brand Award to recognize the important role the brand plays in the Colorado natural products market. I am so happy to announce that this year's recipient is natural skincare and essential oil company Goddess Garden. While Goddess Garden is a woman-owned company, it is truly a family business. Founder Nova Covington was inspired to start the brand when she had to make a natural sunscreen and body wash because her daughter was allergic to synthetic chemicals. Luckily for Nova, her husband Paul is a biochemist. His expertise was instrumental in creating the first ever natural sunscreen. 2017 has been a busy year for the Goddess Garden team. Not only are they launching 13 new SKUs, but they have also taken an activist role by supporting bills on both a state and federal level that would require more transparency in personal care products. Now would be a good time to talk about Goddess Garden's mission, which is something that Nova has felt all of her life, way before Goddess Garden was created. And that mission is to do something good for the earth every day. To further this heartfelt mission, Goddess Garden is forming a foundation called Protect Our Mother, which will continue and build upon the work of Goddess Garden of cleaning up our oceans and the chemicals we use. Finally, I have to mention Nova's long history and involvement with Naturally Boulder. She first became a member 10 years ago, back in 2007. In 2008, Nova participated in the Pitch Slam, but didn't win. Undeterred, she came back in 2009, where Goddess Garden was named a Pitch Slam winner. She has also sat on numerous panels, as well as served as a judge for Pitch Slam. I would like to thank Goddess Garden and Nova for their dedication and service to this organization. Naturally Boulder is delighted to present this award to Nova.
Thank you so much, Naturally Boulder. Feels like a second ago I was up here doing the Pitch Slam, so I'm all nervous for you guys. It's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm so honored. No, it's fine. So I'm going to begin a little bit unconventionally, and I'm going to start with a story. Have you ever had a dream that was so powerful that you can actually like see it years later? So I had this dream about these warriors, and they came to visit me, and there were 3 of them, super intimidating, Native American warriors. One of them was really tall, super powerful. One of them was like short, shrunken, wrinkled. And the third, he was this beautiful warrior, but he hadn't followed his path. He had let the fire water take his life path. And, you know, I'm totally intimidated, right? They're huge. Of course, it's a dream. But anyway, they had this beautiful talking stick. It was wood and had feathers. And in my dream, they didn't speak, but they handed me this talking stick. And they basically said, we did what we could for Mother Earth, and now it's your turn to speak for the Earth. And I was like, whoa. Okay, thanks for that. And I actually realized this year with Standing Rock that one of those warriors was Sitting Bull. And I looked him up, and I started reading his quotes. And believe it or not, he wasn't a warrior. He was a shaman. And he was actually the first tribal leader to bring together a bunch of tribes. And so he was really powerful in his day. You know, Little Big Rock and all that. And some of his quotes, I'm just going to read you a couple, but he said, let us put our minds together and see what life we can make for our children. Obviously, that spoke to me. And he also said, warriors are not what you think of as warriors. A warrior is not someone who fights, but the one who sacrifices himself for the good of others. And I think that's really powerful because, to me, that is radical generosity. That is what this community has in spades. Everyone in this room is trying to make a difference. We're trying to change food systems. We're trying to regenerate the earth. We're trying to, you know, make better peanut butter. I mean, all the things we've done have just been, you know, to make the world a better place. And so I really want to recognize the fact that this is a unique community. This is not the same in cities across the country where people give of their time. And I can't tell you on my path how many people have given. I couldn't even possibly list them all, so I decided not to even try. But sometimes it was in truth, and sometimes that truth isn't something you want to hear. Sometimes it was in time. They gave generously of their time, and sometimes it was love. I mean, just flat out. This community is super amazing. Paul Repetto, he's one of the Horizon founders, and I'll never forget, after I won the Pitch Slam, he came up to me and he's kind of crotchety. He hands me his card and he goes, I'm going to give you 2 hours of my time, but you better call me. And I was like, I don't even know who you are, but okay, I'll call you. And he ended up giving me so much more of his time. Mark Retzloff has given me so much of his love, time, and his truth. I mean, if you want a guy who's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not, that's the guy. He's not here tonight. He's in Hawaii, but thank you, Mark. And the other person I want to recognize tonight that I feel like every time I walk through that door to come to Spring Fling or Autumn Awards is Joan Boykin, and she just radiates love. I mean, she makes every single person feel so welcome and loved, and I just want to thank her for all her time and her generosity. So, yeah, now it's time for radical generosity for all of us who are making a difference. It's time for us to give back. And basically, it's your turn. So I'm actually going to hand you that talking stick. And so everyone in this room has the obligation now to pass it on. You know, give to someone who's making a difference. It makes a huge difference in their path. And you can really make a difference. And I think that, you know, let us really put our minds together and see what kind of life we can make for our children. And the last piece of radical generosity that has touched me so incredibly deeply that I would be remiss without mentioning is my incredible tribe that I have built and brought in one person at a time. And I want to invite everyone up on the stage who's here from Goddess Garden. Not everyone could be here tonight. And my husband, Paul Halter, who has been, when I didn't pay myself for 5 years, awesome. Still loving me, even though I wasn't paying myself. So I just want to thank these people here. They've been awesome.
Thank you, Nova. And I just wanted to take a second to thank my best friend and partner, Nova, for her incredible vision, her huge heart, and her consistent ability to inspire us all. So thank you so much. Big hand for Nova.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you do for our community. And we will take the passage of that stick very seriously. We have one more award, but first we have 2 more of our pitches. So Alex and Steve will come back up.
All right.
All right.
Final 2. So we're going to do these back to back, and then we have some really important instruction. So we have the judges who are very important in this decision making, but you guys, if you remember from our previous years, you all have a say as well. You guys count as a vote. So I will explain that after these pitches. But next up, Vuku.
All right, give it up for Vuku.
Hey guys, how's it going? My heart's beating out of my chest right now. I've been trying to breathe the comment down, but I forgot to say some things yesterday that were really important, but those of you who weren't here, I really want to share an important story that really inspired me to make this movement that hopefully will impact all of you guys, like in an emotional level, like sincerely. 17 years ago on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, I died and came back to life. I was in a BMX accident, laying in the middle of the road, face ripped open. After that, during that time, I actually saw angels. I know this is weird, not to get weird on you guys, but it's unexplainable. I'm 12 years old. I saw it. They told me, tell your mom, tell everyone, the angel said everything is going to be okay. And I was depressed at this time. My parents divorced. I split it. I moved to Colorado from Texas and just didn't care about life at the time. But they told me, like, hey, tell your mom and tell everyone the angel said everything's going to be okay. And right when I woke up, my mom's over me. I don't know how long I was out, but I told her. And doctors were amazed that I survived. And it's pretty awesome. So since then, life goes on and you forget those important moments that really speak to your heart, and it's easy to forget in today's fast-paced world. Well, 2012, I was training to be in the best shape of my life. I got lost chasing the mirror, chasing what I thought would make me happy, and I realized I was chasing vanity, superficialness, and I'm sure all of us can relate to whatever that is in our own life. And ultimately, when I did wake up in the best shape of my life, I was depressed. I was neglecting for what truly makes me happy. And that's looking on the inside and knowing that we do have everything within us to really inspire the next person around us. And that's what takes me back to that moment in my life, that life is so short and we really got to make a difference, and especially with other people. And I found to get yourself out of being depressed is when you help other people, you truly are so happy, and it's the best, most rewarding feeling. So back to the superficialness of product, we have a bar that I created. It's awesome. I don't like to say what it tastes like. I like to have my customers tell me what it tastes like, and they keep saying that it's the best tasting bar they've ever had, which is awesome. I agree. 20 grams of protein, 2 grams of sugar from local honey, 14 grams of fiber. Kind of came out as a fluke, threw a little bit of this and that together, got it lab tested, had to call the lab back to make sure, and they're like, yeah. So, anyways, I really wanted to create this movement with people, something that can inspire you when you eat something. That from the name, I wanted it to be something different that really doesn't sound like anything else. Because I knew if I was going to turn this into a company, there's a lot of competition in the bar market. And who's heard of Vuku, right? So I just made that up, and I wanted to create a meaningful definition. And what that definition means is for you to recognize and act upon your greatness and potential from within. And I ended up doing leadership college in Australia, which...
Thank you.
That was... no worries.
Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. Well, it inspired... I'll hurry up. I talk quick.
This is 4 so far.
All right. So ended up getting inspired to do business out there, you know, tapping into your own greatness. This logo basically is my whole story. I'm so passionate about it. The hand and the heart, there's 2 hearts in the palm. We're all connected. You can't do it alone. And the hand is like a sign of work for me, so you have to apply action and work towards what's in your heart because you are destined for greatness. So,
thank you. The gong rules.
See you guys.
All right, so I have to agree on 2 things. One, that was a pretty incredible story, so it's really nice to see you up there pitching. And the bars are the best tasting bars I've ever had.
Thanks.
Where it falls short for me is the purpose of the bar to the consumer.
Sure.
This is a 20-gram protein house, 300 calories, and is it $5.99 at retail?
$4.99.
$4.99 at retail.
Yes.
Is this a meal replacement? Is this a...
So legally, we can't say meal replacement yet until we have our protein blend created, which we are formulating to have all your vitamins and minerals so FDA can approve and say, yes, you can call it a meal replacement. So we call it a meal. Most people eat other bars as a meal. This one's more balanced. We really like the idea that it's low glycemic, oats and almond based. Local honey is the only source of sugar that we add to it. So it is important to health-conscious consumers, and we do absolutely speak that. I just wanted to touch on the level that the whole mission behind the brand, because we can all get lost in the product. All of us have great products.
So it's a refrigerated bar.
Yes.
I have a perishable product. I said I would never start a perishable company again. Tell me about your team and like who's helping you sort of manage logistics for the complexity of
Sure.
a perishable product.
So I basically, because this is taking off faster than I really expected, and it's actually going maybe a little too fast. That package you're holding right there, we have 8 of those sleeves left until we're out of that packaging and we need more. So I've been stopping on demos and they keep going. So the refrigerated product, we have, sorry, I got lost there. I have a graphics guy who's phenomenal, very talented, obviously you can see. I visually design it and he does all that.
I don't want to know about your graphics guy. Tell me about the people.
That's one team, and then I have the other guy, or one part of the team. Then it's me doing the sales and demos.
Who's managing your logistics?
I
operations?
So I have a friend that helps me with manufacturing right now. We're currently looking for a co-packer.
Okay.
Because of it's taking off, and I've listened to as many people as I can that are best in the industry. And as far as getting numbers and logistics together, we got a CPA and working with Red Idea, that type of stuff. Taking all the best steps, because I'm not just doing this for fun or just trying to create a product. I really want to build a legacy here, and we got to start off on the right foot. So it is looking for all the right people, and that's what I'm actively searching for the whole time.
So a certain advisor, Justin, had advised to pause on purpose, to really focus on your product. But because this really is about purpose, and this is why you developed this in the first place, can you actually share a little bit more about A21 and what the full intention was?
So when I was in Australia, in Sydney, the A21 campaign, they were founded in Australia. And it's always been on my heart that, people that are enslaved, in America, we know all about that. But when I was out there, I got to see firsthand from this founder of this company, or the nonprofit, the women that were really being tricked. It was literally like Taken, the movie Taken. And no one talks about it. They don't want to talk, and I love soldiers, I get it. And we are in Colorado, we got a lot of Army bases and just military bases. But I really wanted to do something different because Denver has a big problem with human trafficking in Colorado Springs. No one talks about it. And it's something dear to my heart because we're not only help freeing our customers' mindset and adopting this belief that, hey, you can do whatever you put your mind to and set your mindset free, but we're also helping free physical lives, women, children, men. I know at that time when we launched, I was given 21 cents literally of every bar because I thought, 21 cents, we'll make it happen because this is important. But I do take wisdom. I mean, that's the main thing. You have to pivot. You have to listen and take advice. You can't just keep staying stubborn because you're going to be in the same spot. At least that's what I think. So,
thank you very much. All right, sorry about that. We do have a timed event in the Gong rules. So we've got one more pitcher. This is the exciting time because as soon as this pitch is done, we'll be taking the judges back and making some decisions. Alex will walk you through how you become the 5th judge, and we'll move forward. But without further ado, let's bring up Robbie and Good Spread.
I'm Alex with Good Spread, the organic third wave peanut butter company that some of you heard about yesterday. I wanted to tell you about what I did before Good Spread. Before Good Spread, I worked in Washington, D.C. for a therapeutic food producer. Therapeutic food is peanut paste, milk formula, and vitamins. It was engineered by Doctors Without Borders for children with severe acute malnutrition. It's what UNICEF refers to as the cure to global chronic malnutrition. This is a packet of ready-to-use therapeutic food. And I was really inspired by this. With a buddy of mine, I drove around the country in a Winnebago, 1971 Winnebago, that actually caught on fire and exploded. There's a video on our website if you want to see that, because I filmed it. May she rest in peace. I was really inspired by the peanut butter part of this, because I knew that a lot of people eat peanut butter. Over 92% of American households stock it. And it had, until a certain person here had made it an interesting category, it had been really dry and boring. And we thought it would be, the next level of this could be that when you buy a jar of peanut butter, you're directly giving to a child who's suffering from severe acute malnutrition. And the next level to that would be that you could track this with some kind of code or something, which we put on the lid. So you can actually track where and when your packet goes to a child in need. All of it right now is going to northern Uganda because of the South Sudanese refugees who are coming over from famine, from war. And more than 80% of those are women and children, 80% of 1 million refugees. It's massive. And I just bring all that up to say that we kind of wandered in the desert for a while with this mission until we found Boulder and we found you, until we found people like Simple Startup who helped us with our books, and Holland & Hart helped us with our legal. David Winter helped us with spins data and helped us get a grip on this market, this 80% of millennials that are gonna have children over the next 10 years, and this category growing at 15% year over year in the organic segment. Like, all that stuff's really exciting to us. And you all know something that we know together, and that's when we're working together and we're helping each other, business is really badass. Like, we can use profits and we can use our influence to maximize the value of our service to others in our community. And that's what we're trying to do. And I really mean it when I say it. We're here to make you proud. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, judges.
Awesome tasting product. I said last night I thought it would be good stoner food, and I got home and I ate half a jar. So.
All right, the first weed joke.
So my question is, can I get a free case? No, just kidding. No,
Yes.
so it's a crowded category. How do you see your brand standing out, and how do you get your mission across on a crowded shelf?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, so actually we just rebranded recently to put the life-saving part on the front with the organic logo, and that was a big part of it. But to be honest with you, most of our sales are food service and online at this point, and that is actually something of our design, because if we can get people online, that's where we can tell the story. And so we are really, excited to be online-centric, I guess. But we also know of the difficulties of shipping peanut butter around the U.S., so it's something we're always working more on, but yeah.
So I said this yesterday as well. I think what you're doing is tremendous, because you're really driving other companies, especially in your category, to be better and to watch out, because we all have to continue evolving, or else we're going to forget why we're here. My biggest concern is, and this goes for all companies that are starting, is the mission's really important. The purpose is extremely important. But at the end of the day, we're a business, and we're not a hobby. And my biggest watch out for you is just to not lose sight, while you're driving your business, that if your business can't grow and become a large-scale business, then that's a missed opportunity to truly drive change. And a lot of times I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are so mission-driven that they forget that they're running a business. And that was my comment to Vuku, was not to give up on the mission, but just to really focus on the business. And I just want to make sure you don't lose sight of that, that you're running a business, and I think it's really admirable what you're doing.
Thank you. And I want to speak real quick to Robbie Vetrana, standing here on the side. He's a longtime advisor, and 2 years ago agreed to step in as our CEO. He's been a part of running several businesses, and that's specifically what we were trying to get after, because we knew, I mentioned we were wandering in the desert for a while. We were a little too, we had come out of a nonprofit, and to your point, we weren't thinking enough about profit and how that's the tool to maximize our impact. So, yes, thank you for that.
To answer that question as well, we spent so much time dialing in our operation, really structuring the business for scale. So what we spent the last year doing was coming out with the organic line, setting up our distribution, setting up our fulfillment center, getting our production in line so that we can scale, attracting capital. We had to have some money in the bank to go out and do that. And when we go to market, we're spending a lot of time sampling and demoing. So it's inelegant and muscular work, but it is the way we're distinguishing ourselves. We are pumping the brake on retail, because if we go too fast and too hard at retail, we're going to probably put ourselves out of business. We have to make sure that we're raising enough money to represent that. So we've got a nice channel mix, and we have a pretty rich content platform. If people are interested in the story, we're creating those advocates. And as we said last night, there is an amazing wave that's happening within this industry. I think, Justin knows it better than anybody, but peanut butter has been commoditized. I think there's sort of an idea that peanuts came out of the South. They're sort of overlooked, but it really was the original superfood. I mean, this is a product that is plant-based protein, it's nutrient dense, it's a product that has all the right things, and the reason why this category is predicted to triple in the next 5 years is because it's so on trend. Now, what's being missed right now is the opportunity to really double down on organic and on supply chain and on full transparency and on authentic social mission. So we've staged the company to grow. We're telling that story one at a time right now, not the most elegant way, but we're exploding into food service. We'll do about $1 million in food service sales alone through Compass. We're going to be on 5 Google campuses. And so we have an opportunity to reach influencers, and that's how we're going to go to market right now. We're not going to broadcast. We're going to laser into people who care about what we're talking about, and we're going to grow along with this category.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so Alex is going to talk a little bit about how you become the 5th judge. I'm going to take the judges. We're going to go back to the green room and make some decisions, and we'll be carrying on the program. And I think after that, Carlotta's coming back up. All right, managing talent. I can't tell you how tough this is.
Okay. So I need you guys to listen very carefully. This is always the most complicated part of this entire event. So I really hope that this goes smoothly. So you guys pull out your phones and just listen to what I say first, and then you guys can try it. So we just had our 5 pitchers go. which you can see A, B, C, D, E, okay? So when you pull up a text message, go to where you would put the number, so like the phone number part, write in 22333, and then in the body, right, where you would write the message, type in naturally, BOU 485, and hit send. And then wait a second. And then pick one brand that you think should be the winner and we should send to Expo West. So text A for Beyond Broth, B, The Honest Stand, C, Kusati, D, Vuku, or E, The Good Spread. Good? Can you pull up the link? Oh, God damn it. Hold on 1 second. I told you this was the most complicated part.
Sorry?
Not live.
Okay, I think it might be working. Still not working? So we're going to give Alex a few minutes to get this fixed. And I before people leave the room, I'd like to move
Okay,
on.
we're good. We're good. We're good.
We're good. Okay, good. I think the poll has been activated. So let's try again. Okay. Alex, I don't think it's fixed yet. It's not working.
It's going. We're getting them. We're getting them.
You're getting them, okay.
We're getting them. So keep doing it.
But only vote once.
It's working? Working.
Yeah, we're still getting the message it's not activated, but what are you getting? Oh, so we've had the maximum number of responses. Okay, so we are going to move on from this part. We valiantly tried the voting one more time. Okay, so can I get everyone's attention? Okay, because this is a very, very special part of our program. The voting didn't work. We got a few votes, but it's really our judges. They have an important say. Could I please have your attention? When I say hi, you say ho. Hi. Ho. Hi. Ho. Okay. Thank you. We have a few more elements, and we always leave the very best for last. And so I would like to bring up, well, first I'd like to thank all of our sponsors and members one more time. We love you. We couldn't do what we do without you. Thank you. And now we have our Industry Leader Community Champ Award. And this is a really special part of our program. And I'd like to bring David Winter up to announce our 2017 winner.
You know, they say the second greatest honor to actually winning this award is announcing it. So with that in mind, I've prepared a short speech. No, it's a great honor to introduce our 2017 Naturally Boulder Industry Leader and Community Champ. You know, I've had the privilege of getting to know a number of leaders in this industry on a personal level. And though I don't yet count this year's winner among those, I feel like her influence on my life and career, and I'm willing to bet all of those in this room, looms incredibly large. The institutions that she's helped mold read like a table of contents in a book about the natural foods industry in Colorado. And I'll just rattle off a few. Alfalfa's, Boulder County Farmers Market, OTA, Naturally Boulder, the Fresh Ideas Group. Okay, yeah? Let's all bow our head in reverence and raise a round of applause for your 2017 Industry Leader and Community Champ, Sylvia Tawes.
Wow, thank you, everybody. I'm completely honored, and I'm also equally inspired. I know I'm standing between everybody in this room and bubbles and celebration, so I'm just going to speak from the heart. I know that all of us over the last 4 weeks have pretty heavy hearts, more than the norm, more than if we've been in our own personal crises. And we had that first kind of wave of natural disasters, things that just came at us, and then they came again and again. And then just in the last week and a half to wake up to such a man-made disaster in Las Vegas. And when any community, including our own Naturally Boulder community, but around the world, you realize that your hearts are heavy. It's really like being in vertigo, isn't it? You ask yourself, what can I do with this? And it occurred to me that the answers are actually wonderfully simple, and that the natural and organic products industry that I've been involved with for 30 plus years is completely emblematic of these simple solutions. Do you know what the #1 solution to returning sanity for a village, for a home, for an ailing loved one is? The #1 solution is community. Community that you are actually connected with, and even when you try to isolate from the hurt and that heavy heart, what does that community do? They just stick with you. They just keep coming back, and they're there for you. I suggest, may we have 30 seconds to bow our head, to say our own gratitude, as Nova so beautifully suggested. And so we are connected. There's two simple things that really don't cost anything except your intention. And especially for our kind of rebel-rousing party, which I'm so glad our industry still does so well, you know, two things that take not a penny out of any one of your business's pockets. They take something more priceless. It's a little bit of time. And whatever is your higher power, whatever is the filter through which you believe, these two things we can do starting next minute. And kindness. I suggest one of the most wonderfully fertile ways to deal with challenges, with awful, scary events that are completely, seemingly out of our control, is kindness. And that kindness can be what you bring to work. That kindness can be how you wake up and decide to approach your partner. That kindness is certainly with all your employees. And our industry is wonderfully, rigorously different in how we treat our teams. The second is to go local. And I don't mean food. And those of you that know me in the room know I'm completely food possessed. You come to a dinner at mine and Lyle's house, and you're just hours into it. You're never going to get home at irregular bedtime. So thank you for your patience, those of you here that have had to endure. So go local means look around you and decide what can you give yourself to that's outside of your regular job and even your regular comfort zone. So how many people in the room volunteer and it's outside of official work? You're beating the percentage, especially for Boulder County. You just need to know Boulder County has one of the lowest volunteer rates in all of the United States. That's wrong. That's a pain point. This industry needs to change that around. So I say to you, go local. Give to Metro Caring. Sign yourself up to be able to be a part of one of their many, many ways to volunteer. Give to Conscious Alliance. It's a wonderful love nonprofit of ours, or Chef Ann Foundation. Give to that neighbor that you keep promising to have a cup of coffee, or that new cool Kuva Insta-tea. You know, just give yourself a time. I've done a lot of work for myself, for my family, working on those who suffer from mental illness. And I ask that we all start talking about that much more openly. And as much as you hear about all the different radical therapies and prescriptions, do you know what's the number one thing? Connected to community. So I say we can all do that. No matter what happens in the news tomorrow morning when we wake up, we have something special here in Naturally Boulder, which is that sense of connection. I want to do some really quick thank yous. And I'm so excited to help announce the winner. I started this journey quite by accident, and to play on Nova's It's Important to Tell a Good Story, I kind of fell into the natural products industry. I am not cool enough to be a hippie. I was like in that 70s zone. I grew up in a John Birch Society Republican family in the mountains of California. We kind of learned early survival instincts. I only wish reality TV would have existed back then, because we could have been very entertaining. But I got hired by someone quite desperate named Haas Hassan, and his partner, Mark Retzloff, and some guy named Lyle Davis, who was in Italy on sabbatical. I didn't even know what sabbatical meant then. I was in my early 20s, mid-20s. They hired me after I had had a restaurant on purpose in Pueblo, Colorado, on purpose, downtown, for 5 years, plus a catering company. And you know, that was my entrepreneurial foray. I call it my graduate degree in what not to do. At least I learned food cost, but landed at Alfalfa's when they opened their new store, and there was stuff called Satan, which I learned was Satan, and there was stuff like that was floating in Crocs in the deli case that was looked like my baby's, you know, I was like floating white chunks that they called tofu, and then this thing called tempeh that just was otherworldly looking to me. And so I had to figure out natural foods, and I bought one cookbook. I read it every night. It was Laurel, oh my gosh, the Moosewood Cookbook. Just ripped through it every night, studied it so I could become a natural foodie. I always cared about the pleasure of eating and the beauty of food, but I never thought of it as, oh, you do this because it's prescriptive and good for health. Fast forward, alfalfa's was my education, and you know, bringing sweets to the produce guys and bringing sweets to the butchers, we got the food costs down, we got the sales up. It was a great learning ground for me. I'm really happy, Lyle Davis, you didn't fire me the first time you met me because I had changed your deli case and you were none too happy about it, so thank you for sticking by me. I also want to thank absolutely my family. And I count my family as my greater tribe. So my children, Maddie, Cassidy, Clinton, Emily, my amazing sisters, Jenny and Bonnie, my husband, that farmer I sleep with, that I'm so in love with, thank you, and my dear friends, Kelly, Jackie. I have friends just all over, actually, the globe because of this industry. And so thank you to my family. My kids had to forfeit a lot. Lyle still feels like he's having to forfeit a lot to be so active in this industry. I'm so indebted to you. And I hope you don't fire me soon still, Lyle. I want to thank my FIG team. FIG team present and FIG alumni. I always say just because you leave my place, this place, Fresh Ideas Group, you're always a FIG. I am so blessed because my team teaches me every day. And they allow me to be that kind of creepy English teacher and still edit and get my hands in there. But I love my FIG team. I'm so indebted to you. Thank you, FIGs. To close, there are mentors in my life that are simply irreplaceable, and I love that Nova and I share one in common, and we both call him a curmudgeon, and that is Paul Repetto. And Paul Repetto is a very unreasonable person at times, and gives you advice even when you really are in a place that you just don't want to hear it. And I think that is priceless. And Paul, since the year you moved here in the 90s, and I did a news release for yogurt for this little company with 5 employees called Horizon, you have been giving me that advice, and it's priceless. I love you. Thank you. I don't need to read. So here's the third. Like Paul, like a lot of you entrepreneurs in the room, like a lot of you who've worked at several different companies, are in the sweet C-suite, will be there in another year. The third way we can wake up and deal with sometimes heavy hearts is our own unreasonableness. Let our industry stay unconventional. Let that hippie spirit, even if you're like me and not cool enough to be a real one, let that righteous desire to do things differently and better, to fix the fractures in our food system. I challenge everybody in the room to be a revolutionary, and if you can be a revolutionary with a kind heart and giving to your community, you can make a major, major difference in any society, from as small as your home to your office to this entire country. So I'm going to ask something of you that Chef Ann Cooper, she has this trademarked. She's a dear friend. She's one of the most unreasonable clients I've ever had, and we still really like each other. But she would want you to say, in her cause for better school food, what I'm going to ask you to do in your own respective daily life, which is stay pissed off. Don't get complacent. Again, how many people are children of the 70s here? Yeah. So we kind of had, you know, a different newsreel. You know, we had that Watergate thing, and then the Bee Gees were really big, and then there was Urban Cowboy, you know, and then I go into Alfalfa's, and all these people are like having their seitan sandwiches, and I'm like, what are you doing? So if you get and then you stay pissed off, that means you have a little beast within you. Little beasts are important to every story worth telling. What would Red Riding Hood be without the wolf? So think about your story and think about the tension within. And what is it you're going to fight for? We are only 0.07% of organic farmland in this country. We haven't even made 1%. I completely support John's idea of 10%, but we got to get our booties in gear. We have to make some major conversion of land to organic and restorative practices if we don't want to be old farts 10 years from now and we're like at 3%. We absolutely have to start getting the word social justice into what this industry cares about. We absolutely have to think of the food supply chain not just as of source to distribution to selling. We have to think of the humanity along that for both animals and us humans. So I just put forth to you that one of the wonderful things that I've been so blessed by this community, by Naturally Boulder, from the places I've been able to earn a paycheck from, but so much more, including building my own business of 22 years with a lot of people's help, is stay a little bit upset, be a little bit agitated, mix it up with that recipe of kindness and turning to your community, and you too will be as blessed as I. I am so thankful to be on this journey with all of you and so thankful to Naturally Boulder. I can't believe Naturally Boulder is where it is because Naturally Boulder looked at pain points and they solved them. So how many people have a little beast inside them here? Ow! Talk about for your company, what's your wolf? What are you fighting? And then have the verve to go there. I love you all. Thank you.
All right, you guys. I feel like I have some very important information. And thank you for the texting to vote. There's a reason I'm in the food industry and not the tech industry, because I don't know how to do that. Anyways, but it still worked. We got enough votes to count. So we're going to announce the 3 winners. I'm going to go start with number 3, and then Steve is going to do number 2, and then Syl is going to do number 1. And I just want to say everyone did an amazing job. I'm so inspired, and I'm very, very, very proud of everybody. So number 3, Robbie and Alex with the good spread. Come on up.
All right, congratulations, you guys. We've got a fine array of packages and prizes for you, including this, right? Is this, oh, this is 3rd. This is 2nd. 3rd, right here. Congratulations to Good Spread. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks, guys. Well done. All right, I get the privilege of announcing the 2nd prize winner, and you know, we've gone through this for 2 days, a lot of great brands, and I want to bring up Kusa and Jim Lancuva. Well done. Instant tea for everyone. Well done. And so we always leave the winning pitcher for our community champ and our leader. So we're going to let Sylvia do that for us.
So this is exciting because my daughter voted for this one. So these are the last flowers of this season from our farm. And so we're adding flowers from Pastures of Plenty. I just want to let you know how many people in the room when we were brainstorming, what could we do to like honor entrepreneurs like 13 years ago, 12 years ago? Could we do a pitch slam? I had gone to a poetry slam with my sister in graduate school, and I was like, yeah, it was kind of fun. It was very funny and entertaining, you know, especially when they were really terrible. but it's still a really good idea. And so Bill, Joan, others in the room, I'm glad we were bold enough to let our little beast say, do it, Entrepreneur Pitch Slam. So really happy to announce the grand prize winner, a woman with a lot of passion and heart, The Honest Company. You did great. You did great. I'd love to help you in any way. Don't get divorced.
All right, you guys. That's it. I don't know. Thank you all so much for coming. What an amazing day. I'm just buzzing. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because I'm so excited. Have a great night.